Welcome to Meeple Podcast, Season 4.
Dear friends, my first international interview in English dates back to more than a year and a half ago. It was with the 2021 World Championships runner-up, Carcassonne Grandmaster Mervin Quaresma, co-founder of Carcassonne Brazil. After all this time, I am pleased to introduce to you on Meeple Podcast a great player much loved in the Brazilian community. With us, Favio Sanches de Carvalho, better known as Trompowsky in the board game arena. Welcome, Favio. How are you?
Hi, Joaquin. I'm fine and looking forward to the Carcassonne tournament.
I love the Brazilian community for everything they do. You too. Nothing simple, of course. Introducing Carcassonne in schools is one of the most effective achievements to spread this game and anything else in society. And besides, you have championships all over Brazil. You are the mirror where the rest of the international community want to look at.
Thank you very much. I'm also very happy to see the community growing. Although not part of the organization, I feel very privileged to see and participate in the results that the Carcassonne Brazil community has been sowing. This harvest has already produced a national champion. Mateus won last year at the age of 17, if I'm not mistaken. Along with him, there was Giovanna Pereira, a girl of just 14 years old, playing in the finals. And this year we also had a boy of just 11 years old, Lucas Garbin. So the community is truly to be congratulated.
Fabio, what's the meaning of your nickname?
Trompowsky comes from chess, and Trompowsky attack is the name of my favorite opening. Octavio Trompowsky was a Brazilian player who created this opening and identified with both the opening, the lines of play, and the fact that a Brazilian player created it. This opening is played at a high level to this day, and there's a hint of pride in encountering it.
You are young. How old are you, and how long have you been participating in competitive Carcassonne?
I'm 29 years old. I have participated in tournaments since 2018. This year's was my 5th national. In 2020 I played and won the Interdivirian tournament. And I already consider myself an experienced in Carcassonne tournaments.
You have won the Brazilian Championship, but I want to mention first the WTCOC 2023. You are one of the most spectacular teams. I don't mean the best top 5, because there are some teams with a fantastic players. But the top 10, maybe you are one of the best because a great competitive level.
I also believe that we have a very competitive team. I don't know if it is among the top 10, but it's a competitive team. But I also think that in a competition, records and projections don't count. The game is resolved on the board, and there's where the result should appear. I was playing really poorly during the team tournament, and I was really happy that the team got the best ranking since then. And maintaining a high level is extremely difficult, and in this tournament, that is what you need to do.
In fact, Brazil came the second behind the runner-ups at the end, the Russian Carcassonne players, but in the previous round, Brazil lost against Latvia by 1 game. It was bad luck.
In the group stage, we had a great campaign. Winning 5 matches in a group like that is quite an achievement. And despite the 5-0 we took from Taiwan, the match against Russia was very close. Regarding Latvia, I believe it is a team that has players at another level. And when you face a team like that, it's very difficult to get a positive result, unless your team is also extraordinary. Still, I want to highlight the team's results. Mateus, Gustavo, Mejuto, and Vini played a lot against Russia and Latvia.
Malvin Quaresma had made way for other players like other people in Japan, Henro or Takafumi. Are you not interested in winning a world team title with? Or is it really your only objective to benefit future generations?
I would really like to win the world teams, just like I wanted to win the national and I want to win the world championship. I don't know how far or how I can benefit future generations, but if that's true, I'll be very happy.
After Melvin and Eric Matthews, it's Fabio's turn. K, Theus Gladiador, and Trompowsky. Favio, tell us about your experience at the Brazil Nationals and what happened from the start to the final.
My best campaign so far were my first participation in 2018 and then last year in 2022, where I got 4 out of 6, which wasn't enough to go to the finals. I don't think there is another national with as many players as here in Brazil. And this year was the first time I played 7 rounds in the Swiss. So I already knew that the tournament would be very difficult. I think that somehow all these years of competition helped me with each victory and not fall apart with the defeat I suffered in the 3rd round. In the finals, I was so ecstatic to be in the top 8 that I didn't even care about the result of the match. I already felt like a winner. And I only started thinking about the idea of becoming champion when I reached the grand final.
In those countries where De Beer is the publisher, there are qualifiers. In other places, such as Italy, France or Belgium, it is a single physical event. What advantages or disadvantages do you see in these 2 different formats?
I think a championship with several stages is positive in a commercial and competitive sense. I see that the players are motivated to train, and playing stage is also training for the national championship. I think it's much better to qualify for a tournament than to simply pay to be there. And of course, this is a personal opinion and does not mean that in countries where there is a single tournament, the players are not of quality.
De Beer, as the distributor of the game, also pays for the travel and accommodation expenses of its champions. In some countries, it doesn't happen, and sometimes we find players who cannot participate because they don't have enough money to afford to travel. What do you think about that?
So, I think it's complicated, especially for those who live on the other side of the world. I wouldn't participate myself if I had to pay all my own expenses. And in fact, the trip is a super prize for the Brazilian champion. Not everyone has the opportunity to cross the world. On the other hand, I think that the national champion who does win the trip should have a very good prize. But I still think that if the player is unable to travel, the publisher should help.
What do you hope to live in Germany? Players Board Game, Spiel Festival, Europe, France?
Firstly, I want to meet Isa, Lady of Avalon in BGA. I miss her a lot. I also hope to meet the players I only know from BGA and have a good tournament. Maybe go for a walk somewhere if I have time.
Brazil is not only football, it's not only samba. It's also beautiful and healthy people, and it's also Carcassonne.
Yes, Brazil is very big and there is space for everyone. We are advancing in the world of board games and competitions. We are a Rum Cup World Champion and a Magic World Champion, and we are striving to reach the top in Carcassonne too.
Except for China and India, Brazil is the most populated country in the earth, after the United States, Indonesia, Pakistan and Nigeria. And then there are the rest of the world's countries. Potentially, a titanic Carcassonne community could be created only in Brazil. Given the successful way you are spreading the game, do you have a big long-term goal? You, I mean the community.
The speed and intensity with which the Brazilian community grew was enormous. I think the objective is to show that we have quality players and contribute in some way to the growth of Carcassonne in the world. If Brazil is one of the largest countries in the world, and we managed to form such a homogeneous community, I think we can serve as an example for other countries to form their community too.
Tell us something that nobody knows about Favio Sanches, about Carcassonne, about you or any other aspect in your life.
I've been to earrings lately, and now, seriously, I want to take this opportunity to say that board games, from chess onwards, have always given me incredible moments, and I will be eternally grateful.
Favio Trompowsky, nice to have you in this sound channel.
Thank you, Joaquin. It was a pleasure for me too.
A pleasure, and to all the audience at Carcassonne Hue, we say goodbye until the next episode. Thanks for listening.
Todo mundo com talante. Bascata, bascataca, bascata, bascataca.